Workout Wednesday. I'm going to show you some key elements of Workout Wednesday week 12. Can you show missing selected periods and auto size? So let's go. Let's have a look at the work out itself. So here we have all of our dates, and you can see that we've got a missing date here, some gaps in between. But then when I open my filter section and I change to daily, we can see that the bars get smaller, which is great, and we have those gaps still there as well. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how to create this date calculation and then how to control the size. So two things. The selection has already been covered before in different workouts, so I don't need to go over that one with you guys today. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our calculation. So if I drag in, option drag order date in, and if we do month of order date, which is this one down here, and we put our, again, option drag order date, order ID onto rows and do the count distinct of order. We get a nice line chart, but then we get a bar chart. But as you can see here, there might not be any distinct differences in terms of there's no gaps, but if we drill down to week, again, there's no gaps, but if I filter to category and go to technology, sorry, what we want to do really is filter to subcategory and go to copiers. We get a few gaps in here, which is great, which is what we want, but then I want to be able to use this parameter to flick between all of those options. Now if I change this to discrete, you can see that I lose my missing values. So if I show missing values, that's great, I get that, but now when I change to so all of this is fine, and if I hit entire view, you'll be able to see all of that. So let's have a look at creating this calculation. So we're just going to call it date 2. So what I want to say is, if I just quickly show you my parameter control, I've just done 1, 2 and 3, 1 for monthly, 2 for weekly, 3 for daily. So I'm going to use a case statement so I don't have to repeat myself. So case, selected period, when, oh, not week, when 1, then what I want to do is I want to bring back this, so I can drag it in from the top up there. When 2, then that's my weekly one. So if I drill down and get weeks, I can drag that in again. And when 3, then you've got it. Click, drill down, and drag it in. Hit end. Okay, so we have our new date calculation. So again, I'm just going to option drag or right click and drag onto the top of that. I'm just going to have it as a discrete date so we get our full date back for our selected fields. Now, as you can see, it's date time, so I'm just going to change it to a date so we get our date. Monthly is fine. Weekly, we've got all of our, looks like there's no gaps, but actually if I show missing values, you can see that there is gaps here, but we've got our weeklies. Okay, fine. Daily, again, we have our set, but if I go fit height instead, for our dailies, for our weeklies, you can see all of the individual days in between those weeks, which is not what we want. So if I change this back to continuous, we have the exact thing that we want. But now when I flick through, you can see monthly's fine, weekly's a bit overlapped, and so is daily. They're very much overlapped. And even if we put our border on, you can see there's a lot of overlaps here. So we can reduce the size, yes, very thin, which is nice. But then if I go monthlies, they're really, really thin. And what I want to do is be able to select monthly and have slightly thicker bars and go to daily, and then it'll go to thin. So The way I did that was, again, I'm just going to create size 2. This time I'm literally going to drag in the select period. So that's the main reason I did 1, 2 and 3 here, because then you can use this as your size control. So I'm going to add that in. We're going to drag it to size. And now, as you can see, we've got our 1 to 6 down here. But what we can do is we can change this to be up to 3 and start at 1. And we want it by range, and I want to reverse it. So I want this one a little bit bigger. And I want 1 to be the biggest and 3 to be the largest. Hit OK. So I'm going to change this from sum to be a dimension. So now you can see we've got 1 to 3, and we've got our monthlies. So we want to probably make our number ones a little bit bigger. Hit apply, OK. Now when I select a weekly, you can see they're probably a little bit too big, so we can adjust that a little bit. So make the biggest a little bit smaller. And then finally our dailies are super thin because we've set our size parameter. So they're the main features of this week. I hope that helps, and I hope this week wasn't too tricky. See you all again soon.